Everyone, back to the boudoir. I am your host, Aisha Jones, and today we have a very fun but also somewhat stressful and high stress inducing episode for me anyway, because as you can see by the title, we need to go ahead and recap season 6 of Love is Blind, because honestly what transpired on my television was some good old ratchet all-American drama filled fun. And honestly, I'm gonna have to say right off the bat that this season was a 10 out of 10 when it comes to the drama specifically. Specifically when we're talking about drama, I was at the edge of my seat. Okay, we're gonna get into that later though. We are so close to 100 subscribers, you guys. I can't believe it, and I really do feel like we can hit that goal before the month ends, and I honestly think we can do that even sooner. Okay, so make sure you subscribe if you're loving the content so far. I've been loving doing this show, and there's gonna be so much more to come. So if you are ready to dish all of the tea when it comes to Love is Blind, and you are ready to hear my thoughts and what I think and just relive all of the emotions of season 6 all over again, make sure you slip into something comfortable, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, honey, because it is time for the boudoir. I mean, I got iPhone notes, notebook. We got so many different things going on here because this season has been a lot, okay? And I just want to start off by saying this show, Netflix, the cast, whoever, Clay, somebody owes me some preventative Botox, because I'm pretty sure there's some new wrinkles I've never even had before that are spawning on my face because the amount of stress these strangers that I don't know have induced me in the past 2.5 weeks is actually insane, okay? The way things went down on this show, this could have honestly been an email. Netflix, y'all could have just emailed this recap to us, because honestly, this was a train wreck. This was a mess. We got one couple that everybody already knew was gonna last that made it to the altar and said, I do. This was the most unpredictable, predictable, boring, messy, drama-filled, inspiring at some moments, cringe-worthy mess, and I loved every second of it, okay? This cast was, had a lot of interesting characters, and I feel like Netflix is starting to see that people just love drama and they just love mess, so they bring in the most walking red flags possible, and they just put them all in one little room. They separate them in these little pods, and it's all one big trauma bonding fest, okay? We are going to go through all of these couples, all of these people, because there's a lot to go through, and I have my little notebook here, and I want to just give my thoughts on all of these couples, and just, there's always lessons we can learn. And let me just make this disclaimer, because people always have something to say. This is obviously a scripted show. We don't know these people. These are strangers, okay? We didn't know who these people were before February 14th, whenever this season dropped. It's okay. We're just reacting and discussing what we're seeing on our screens. We obviously know that producers are conjuring up their little storylines and stuff, so there's no need to get crazy, okay? We all are aware that this is a show. These people have caused me so much stress, and it's kind of bizarre how into the show I got, but I love stuff like this, because with all these different personalities coming together, I don't know why I keep waving this thing like a wand. If you're listening, I'm waving my little pen like it's a magic wand. I'm so hype and happy today. But anyway, there's just so many people and personalities coming together that it's bound to obviously make very entertaining reality TV. That's why we're all tuning in and watching. But there's also so much you can learn. This is the perfect way to kind of see what personalities exist out there, because yes, we're all individuals. We're all 8 billion people living on this earth. We're all very, very different, but archetypes exist for a reason. There are people who act in similar ways for a reason, because it's different tropes, and it's interesting. Obviously we're seeing a very honed in and one-dimensional version of these people, and what I'm trying to say is it's interesting because you can kind of use these situations to help you learn, or see yourself in how you used to act in relationships, or the type of people that you used to date and attract. These things are so entertaining for those reasons for me personally, and I just love studying human behavior and behavior analysis. All that nerdy shit is so entertaining to me, so I had a time, okay honey? Now where do we even start? Okay, I guess we'll start with Laura, Jeremey, Sarah Ann. Now listen, when I tell you Miss Laura gave us quality reality television that I have not personally seen since like I Love New York type stuff, like Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa flipping the table. Like that level of like must-see TV was out of this world. That Virgo Queen, with all of the receipts she needed, made that little boy Jeremey, with an E, fall into her little trap, and he got read for filth. And then can we talk about the glasses, the attire that he wore to this little like confrontation or whatever, where he knew he was about to get his ass broken up with. He had on every protective security blanket you can think of. This man had the sunglasses on, looking like a creeper in the park. The baseball cap, the pillow, everything that just showed that this man was guilty. He had no chance. There was no proving to anyone that that man was innocent because he's clearly lying, like duh. And honestly, I will say a lot of these people, I feel like I didn't really realize were on the show until we got to Mexico. Like I remember that final episode before the honeymoon, I remember seeing like Jeremy and Laura talk, and I was like, wait, who are these people? Like I feel like I've never seen them on the show, and I just wasn't paying attention. Like honestly, they didn't stick out to me much. Laura did a little bit when she was like telling Jess like you need to leave because Jimmy likes somebody else or whatever. Now, did I think that that was shady of her to do like that? Like pulling Jessica aside. And by the way, I'm just going to be rambling. This is just going to be a ramble. So I'm sorry if this is hard to follow. I'm just going to literally give my thoughts on all of these people. Did I think it was shady of her to like pull her aside in that manner? Yes, only because if you're gonna tell somebody something, you need to tell the full truth. Don't give little bits and pieces and little like dog bones like, oh, I know something you don't. Like that's embarrassing, that's humiliating, and that's honestly, you know, not coming from a genuine place, because you're trying to act like you're the key holder of all of this secret information, and then now here's Jess trying to figure out, well, I don't know this lady, like I've never seen her before. I don't know if she's trying to set me up or if she's right, but she's not giving me the full story, and I don't like it when people do that. Like if you're gonna do the whole shady thing or whatever, or I'm just trying to look out for my girl, give the full story, you know? Don't do it halfway. I loved the way Laura gathered Jeremy. That was very entertaining to watch. That was actually probably one of my favorite episodes throughout this whole series. Like, just entertaining television, you know? I know I saw some people on TikTok saying, like, oh, that was such a waste of her time. Like, if she has to do that, she already lost. But, like, we're on TV. I'm trying to see a grown man get read for filth. Like, I'm trying to see somebody get caught in their lie. So, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for how she handled that. You know, I will say I thought it was strange of her to bring up their argument in front of her family, but in hindsight and in the way that things played out, like absolutely call his ass out, because you know he's not coming back. You know he's never going to see them again, because she already knew that he was out doing what he wasn't supposed to do with Sarah Ann. Okay, their little January 6th family reunion. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but where were they on January 6th is the real question. Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't really pay attention to these two, and like I don't think they were like a good match for each other anyway. Like I didn't really see any chemistry outside of like the forced little like honeymoon, oh I'm here with somebody type thing. Like it didn't look serious to me, and I don't like it. Like Jeremy annoyed me on the honeymoon because like I just don't like it when men are overly unserious. Like it's okay to clown around, you know. I'm a pretty silly Billy. I'm a goofy person. I like to laugh, I like to joke, but I don't like it when somebody's like that 24/7 and they can never be serious. Like that's a red flag. Like, what are you running from? What are you hiding from? Like, there's obviously something sinister going down there, and we absolutely know now that this man is a freak because, oh yeah, he was also engaged, or he was engaged, but it was like a recent breakup with some lady, and he was a future stepfather or something. I don't know. Just a lot of messy stuff that he needed to have sorted before going on a reality TV program, you know? But yeah, overall, this couple, I wasn't really rooting for this couple. I mean, it was just like another dynamic to watch on the show. They were kind of just there for me, so I wasn't really like upset when they broke up. And like, yo, Sarah Ann did we all see the smirk? Like she was crying or whatever, and then Jeremy said something like, oh, I think I want to be with you, or you are my number one, and then she was like, oh really? Like literally the most two diabolical people. Like who girl rides off into the sunset on the jet skis with all 32 teeth on display. Who does that after just breaking up with your fiance while she's sitting there crying? Like, who are these people and where did Netflix get them? Like, the most diabolical people gathered on this season of Love is Blind. And now Sarah Ann's trying to do the whole, well, I'm a good person and if you know who you are and you know everything, like, girl, we don't care, ma'am. We already know what happened. Like, even if nothing happened that night, so to speak, there is no reason why y'all two should have been together. Like, it was kind of bizarre. Like, and then for her to lie about what she said in that Instagram message, and AD had to be like, no ma'am, I read it verbatim, I know exactly what you said, so you can try that lying shit with other people, but it won't slide with me. You know, I also thought that was very entertaining. AD, with the cross-examination, like, I just love the women on the show. The women on the show carried, because Lord knows the men on this show were garbage. So shout out AD, shout out Laura for that scene. Gathered Sarah Ann. You can tell that she's not used to being like questioned like that, or she's not used to, like, you know, people seeing through her BS, and it was like quite satisfying to watch. So Jeremey, Sarah Ann, January 6th prom couple of the year. Good luck to y'all. That's all I'll say, because you guys seem perfect for each other. Now, I'm gonna talk about them for a little bit because they weren't really on the show for long, but Kenneth and Brittany were a couple that I actually was so interested in and I was like actually rooting for, because I kind of liked their dynamic. Like, I don't know if I was just seeing them compared to the other flop of couples, of comparing them to them, so I was like thinking it was some great, a magical couple, but I actually kind of liked them together. I thought they looked cute. I liked the whole Christian thing. I liked that they related on, like, he's a principal, she's a teacher. I thought that was really cute. We love public education. Come on, read across America, you know, that was fun. Now that I look back on it, you can tell that they weren't really attracted to each other, or like, and especially on Kenneth's part, because I feel like Brittany was at least trying. Like, on the boat, she was saying, hey, you know, I tend to like physical touch and I feel like I'm not really getting that, or do you think I'm doing it too much? And like trying to like start the conversation, but then of course he wasn't talking. He was not trying to talk unless it was about them dolphins, okay? And then of course once they get right back home, he's on that damn phone, and it pissed me off so bad. Like, I just wanted to reach into the screen and rip the phone out of his hand. Because what is so important? Like, what is on that phone, sir? What are you hiding? What are you doing? And why can't you speak? I don't like people like that. That reminds me of JP and what's that girl's name? Taylor. Like, just not talking, being awkward. And I get it. Some people are awkward, but it's like, at some point you have to initiate conversation. Like, it can't just be me. And I've been in that position before with somebody that's just bland and boring and has no substance, and it's like, you're not giving me anything to work with here, so I gots to go. I did not like how he talked to her. I did not like that condescending, we need to look inwards and we need to look introspectively at what we're doing in the part that I did not like that. Like, I can't stand when men try to like be condescending and belittle you like that. Like, she is not one of your elementary school kids, sir. Relax. But anywho, I'm happy that they're not together, because my girl Brittany deserves someone so much better. Like, again, all of the women were carrying on this show. I wish them the best, honestly. All right, we gotta talk about Chelsea and Jimmifer, Mr. Jimbo. Oh my God, these people. You see how I'm acting? This is not a joke. Like, just thinking about them just brings my vibe down. It depletes all of my energy. I feel like I just went through 3 divorces, a meteorite. Like, I just feel like I've witnessed a lot with these people, and let's just get into it. So, you know, obviously the whole Megan Fox thing was like the big meme of this season. That's why everybody's tuning in like, oh, this girl doesn't look like Megan Fox. And like, that's not even what I'm gonna talk about, you know? I think the girl kind of does resemble like an old Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen Megan Fox. I don't think she looks like her, and she didn't say explicitly that she looks like her, but we all know why she brought it up, because she just wanted to say, I kind of look like, you know, what's that guy, MGK's girl, you know what she was doing. Let's be honest with ourselves there. Like, you know, whether you think she looks like her or not, you know what she was trying to do. Maybe, I don't know, but I think a lot of people are going hard at Chelsea, and I get it. She was very, both of them, both Jimmy and Chelsea, were very like hard to watch, you know, like the whining and the begging and the, you know, constant need for validation. Like, I get it. It was a lot, you know? There were times where I literally had to fast forward through Chelsea and Jimmy's scenes because it was just so nauseating to watch. Like, it was cringe on cringe on cringe. And it was just like, ugh, like it just made me feel icky. So like Chelsea obviously has a lot of relationship baggage. I mean, she even said it on the show. I don't think she ever like went into details of what exactly happened in those relationships, but you can tell that she's been made to feel like she was a lot and clingy and all of that type of stuff before. So I do feel bad. Like I feel bad that she's obviously still carrying that with her and she's bringing it into these new relationships. She could, I'm not a therapist or anything, she could possibly have an anxious attachment style, but honestly I feel like that only comes out when you're with somebody who doesn't make you feel safe, because like your intuition is going to tell you if you're with someone that is not for you, is not supposed to, you're not supposed to be with that person. Like that's why I mean, I'm not gonna say that's why, but that's part of the reason why she's acting in those very extreme, obnoxious, so to speak, ways. Because here Jimmy is, you know, he's saying deadpanedly, I love you, Chelsea. I love you to death. I think we're the top couple here. Blah, 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 blah. Read script. Brushes hair out of face. I love you, Chelsea. You know, clearly he don't, like, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to, but I don't understand why this man would drag this whole thing out knowing damn well he was not with it. And you know what? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he genuinely, the first time he felt this, like, you know, I don't want to be with this girl because she broke his trust about talking about, there's so much to talk about with these people, because, you know, she talked about how he and his friend had slept together. We will talk about that soon. But even if that were the case, like, I still don't understand, like, the dragging out. It was just, they're just clearly not compatible. Like, that's just what it boils down to at the end of the day. Like, we can call him an asshole. We can call him, oh, he's stringing her along. He's gaslighting her. He's manipulating her. I didn't get that vibe. I mean, I can see it. It would be annoying if you had to constantly, like, reassure someone that you love them, but sometimes that's just what you have to do in relationships. Like, some people do need to hear it, and like maybe she wouldn't be needing all of this reassurance if you were giving it to her in adequate ways. Like, you know, just saying I love you isn't enough. Like, what are the actions you're taking? Like, are you making her feel loved, you know? And we don't know what they were doing 24 hours a day behind the scenes on camera. We don't know how he was acting. He could have been the most romantic, chivalrous person. But I will say, most of the time, a woman is not just gonna miraculously act crazy out of the blue. Like, she's not gonna just, oh, where are you? I need love, blah, blah, blah. She's not gonna just do that out of the blue. And allegedly now, according to Jess, from her own mouth, Jess said that Chelsea had every right to act that way because there was a lot of stuff that wasn't shown on camera that Jimmy was doing. And so she actually had a valid reason to act in that manner. So it's like, that's the thing with these shows. It's like, yes, we're only reacting to what they're showing us, but there was also the amount of tea that was going on behind the scenes, and not even behind the scenes, like on social media, that we the viewers were finding out as we were watching the show. Like Trevor having a girlfriend and applying for the show, which was like, what the hell? And I liked Trevor. He was my number one pick. I really liked him. I thought he was like the cuddly golden retriever dude, like lumberjack guy. But girl, these men, what the hell? What was going on this season? It was a hot mess. All of this to say about Chelsea, right? Like, yes, a lot of people were saying she was annoying, she's obnoxious, you know, she's doing the most. And like, yeah, but we have to also realize, like, what is Jimmy doing to make her feel this way? And it's like, you can't make someone act in a certain way. Like, an overly anxious person is just going to be overly anxious. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. You can tell them 1,000,001 times how much you love them as much as you want, and they're still not going to believe it for some reason. That's just their own stuff they need to figure out. So it's like, this situation is very interesting, and I do see all of the sides and all of this, the, you know, what people are saying. However, I will say, I did notice a lot of like, I'm scared to use these types of like heavy language, but like, I don't know what else to say, like emotional manipulation on Chelsea's part, in the sense that like, she would say things that would kind of take the heat off of her. Like, if they were talking about things that they supposedly both did to each other, like, oh, you know, we both had faults. And the first thing Chelsea would say is, but you do that too. But you also, but it's not just me. Like, I don't like it when people can't just take the accountability and move on. Like, I will say one thing about Jimmy is like, he's good at being like, yeah, you know what? I will admit I could do better in this area. If you need me to do this, I'll do that. But like, I don't like it when people are so quick to point the finger and like take the heat off them so that they don't have to feel any sort of the weight of the responsibility. And I will say, in my opinion, did see those types of behaviors at some points with Chelsea. But I am kind of team Chelsea because I feel bad for her. Like, I feel like we've all been in, and I don't want to like pity this woman. Like, she's 30 something years old. She's grown. I don't want to pity this woman. And I can sit here and be like, she needs some self-respect, she needs some self-esteem, and like those things could possibly be true. But like, I'm pretty sure she is like watching these episodes and she sees how she's coming across. So like, I really do hope that she's getting the healing that she needs and deserves, so that she can find a real relationship and somebody who is going to give her the space and the safety to love herself out loud. But also, she needs to do that on her own. That's her own journey. I'm not here to tell somebody what to do, but you know, it was hard to watch a lot of these scenes. And like, also, these people are drunk, like drunk most of the time. You're gonna act out while you're drunk, but also, you know, that's not an excuse for your behavior. Like, I just think those two weren't right for each other, and it is what it is. Like, we can sit here and say, oh, he wasn't attracted to her, blah, blah, blah. I just wish Chelsea all the best. Like, I don't know, like, I just felt bad for her. Like, she's very obnoxious, trust me. Like, I wanted to like shake her at some points because it was just so hard to watch. And like, oh my god, the scene where they were meeting Jimmy's friend, I knew that he had slept with one or both of them already. Like, I didn't need this teaser to come out for me to know. Like, it was so obvious. Because why are we all sitting here kikiing about Jimmy cries while he's in bed? Why do you know that? Why are we having a mutual conversation about what my fiance does in bed? Why do you know that? That was confusing for me. And yeah, Chelsea has every right to feel uncomfortable, because honestly, this is when I need to talk to Jimmy. Jimmy does not know how to let shit go. That is his problem. Why are you, as somebody who is in the mindset of a man that's looking to settle down and get married and find the right woman, the mother of his future children, why are you still friends with a situationship or whatever the hell their relationship was? Why? How good of a friend is she that she must come with you in this journey and you must speak to her every single day? And you know what? And that's when I have a little discussion that I want to have with you guys. Like, I'm just curious. Now, I already know what my answers are. Okay? I don't play the whole female friend thing, and it's not about possessiveness. It's not about, you know, I'm jealous or anything. Like, if you have a coworker that you're cool with, that's fine. I don't care. If you know, grew up with someone, or like, you know, in situations where you're not like, because when would you, I guess my question is, when have you ever like just become friends with a man that was straight? Like, if you are somebody who dates men as a woman and you are a man who dates women, when have you ever made friends with the opposite sex and there was no sort of physical attraction? I'm not one of those people that thinks that men and women can't be friends. Like, I obviously know that platonic friendships exist, but it's just like, it's too recent, Jimmy. It's a little too recent for me. Like, 2 years is not enough time, in my opinion, for that to be your last sexual encounter, allegedly. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I just don't feel comfortable with that. And the whole point I want to make is, like, at what point does it become emotional cheating? Because if we've obviously had a physical relationship. That means we have physical attraction towards one another. It doesn't matter if we moved on and we have new relationships or whatever. It doesn't matter. We still have physical attraction toward one another. Otherwise, why did we have sex? So it's like, okay, you're still going to be friends after that. You've known each other in that way. And then now we're also having like intimate conversations together. So why are we not dating? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what is a situation that you would be friends with a man as a straight woman, or a woman who dates men? That's not work, that's not school, that's not, any of those things. So when does it become emotional cheating? And Chelsea has every right to question that, because it's like, you don't know how to move on. You don't know how to let things go. There is no reason. Why would any woman be comfortable with that? Does that make sense? Like, why would any woman be comfortable with you, their fiance, kicking it and hanging out and texting and calling all day, whether she was exaggerating or not? It's still a lot. Like, that's a lot. I don't think that that's appropriate. That's just me. I don't know. Sound off in the comments. I want to know. Would you be comfortable with your man having a friendship with someone that he has slept with? Because I know I would not be comfortable with that. You don't know how to let things go. It's time to move on, sir. Like, what friendship could you guys have built that is so, like, monumental, and this person has changed your life so much? Like, I don't know. Again, there's exceptions to every rule, but I don't have to be that exception. I don't have to deal with your exceptions. I don't want to do it. If you can't leave your friends alone that bad, I don't want to change you as a person, so you keep your friends. I'll just go my separate way. That's what I would have said if I was Chelsea. Like, y'all got it, because I'm not going to be a part of this. We're not going to sit here and talk about what you like in bed together. What the hell? That was... Girl, I had to fast forward that scene. Like, it was just so cringe. Like, ugh. Yeah, but Jimmy is someone who obviously doesn't like conflict, and he's used to just talking his way out of things and just like avoiding the issue and like kind of talking things down. And, I just don't think they were a good match, and that's clearly why they ended. I think Jimmy dragging it out this long was very extra. But, if what he's saying is true, that was the first time he felt like wanting to break up with her. I was saying, like, remember that other argument, out of like the 50,000 arguments, the argument before this big argument, I thought that was when they were going to break up. And then they looked all happy doing that ice shaving thing for their wedding planning. I thought that they were going to break up then. And I was like, okay, good. You're not subjecting us to this anymore. But then they were still going on dates. And I was like, oh, snap. So maybe they will get married, I guess. But nope. Curtains for them. And all I got to say is, Chelsea, I see you, girl. I've been you. And I just hope you know your worth, and you know what a queen you are now, girl, okay? We're going to talk about Amy and Johnny for a little bit, because no shade, but very sweet, loving couple. I actually do love their dynamic. I love that she's a Leo. I love that he's a Sag. She's very much like golden retriever. He is perfect for her. Like, I know how us lions are. Like, we need that person that's just gonna like go with the flow, and like, I hope they had a wonderful wedding night and figured out how a condom works. That was their biggest concern, was the birth control thing. I hope they figured it out. God bless them. Sorry, it was kind of boring though compared to everything else that was going on. Wonderful, beautiful wedding. Love the ceremony. I love that her brother walked her down. And I will say, I love their family so much, and I love how much they blend together well. Like, you can tell that they're gonna have really fun like family reunions and barbecues and stuff, and like the holidays are gonna be so much fun. I loved Johnny's sisters. They were so sweet. Amy's dad and her parents were just so sweet and cute, and like I loved all of the sweet words, and I love how emotional they are as a family. Like, it's really sweet to watch. So like, truly, I wish them the best. They were a really cute couple. It was just the least entertaining to watch, sadly. Healthy dynamics being the least boring. The least entertaining, but hey, reality TV, right? Now we gotta talk about the biggest headache of them all. We got my girl, AD, all day, and Mr. Clay. Oh my God, this was a hot mess. Now, I will say, first of all, AD is my girl. She is my favorite on the show. This account will not have any AD slander. She is my girl. I love her. She just had a little lapse in judgment there, but it's okay because she's about to be famous. I love her on TikTok. I love her on Instagram. I can tell she's gonna like be an influencer and like really immerse herself into like the influencer role. So I wish her the best of luck. I really do love her. Now Clay, I will say, I thought he was a walking red flag from the second I saw him in the pods. You know, he's obviously very attractive, but you know, I was like, we'll see. And like his reaction to AD thinking that she might have feelings for what's his face, or Matthew, who I thought was very terrifying, but you know, she thought she had feelings for Matthew, and then her saying that when they're on a show where you're gonna be dating multiple people, he was like, who? Matthew? And he like turned feral, and he turned into like, just the way he flipped, I was like, no, It is so important, ladies. Watch how men behave when they're angry. Like, that is, I don't like that. You have to be a healthy angerer or angry person. You have to be a healthy angry person, okay? He was doing a lot. He was in his ego. His pride was hurt, and it's like, fine, whatever. But like, I just didn't like the way he was like, him over me? Like, it just goes to show how, and it's fine to think highly of yourself, but it just goes to show how arrogant he really is. And like, just the way he was talking to virtually a stranger. Like, these people had only known each other for like, what, a few days at this point? It's like, I don't know. I just did not like his reaction. But you know, as the episodes went on, I was like, okay, at least this is what we do as women. We give props to fish for swimming. I was like, okay, at least, yes, he keeps talking about how his dad cheated on his mom and he witnessed those infidelity trips. And honestly, I will take this moment to say I truly do empathize for him, because like, no child should have to be in such an adult situation like that. The fact that his bald-headed milk dud, I'm still holding on to my sports college highlights from 1948 ass daddy ain't shit for that. Like, he was in the wrong to bring his child around that. And I honestly think that, you know, that's like borderline abuse. Like, I don't want to just throw these words around, but I feel like, how can you just have your child, you know, holding on to such grown-up information, and the fact that his poor mother found out right now on the show that he was cheating on her for like basically their whole marriage. Like, it's just so crazy. And like, we will get to Clay and his father eventually, but I just want to say, like, I do empathize because, you know, that's a lot. And like, it is just a Black community thing. Like, people get so offended when you talk about this type of stuff in the Black community, but it's because nobody wants to take accountability for themselves. We have a lot of fucked up trauma that we all need to work through together as a community. And the sooner that we acknowledge that and stop, you know, pointing the fingers and, oh, it's this person's fault, it's this person's fault. Once we actually get to the root of the problem and figure it out together, that's when we'll actually start seeing some change. But that's the stuff they don't want me to talk about, because then I'm, you know, they don't want me to talk about that, right? But anywho, that's a video for another day. You know, I do empathize. A lot of us have seen divorce. We've seen a lot of like toxic relationships, and it's not just a Black people thing. Like, it happens everywhere. But if we're just going to speak on that aspect, yes. You know, a lot of us has seen a lot of traumatic things, and so I do empathize with him. And I was starting to think like, oh, at least he's open-minded about it, and he's like talking about it and how he does want to see a therapist and he does want to get help. But then I remember that this man is not 25 years old. He's not like some young 27. He's 30. He's in his 30s, or he's 30. Like, he's a grown man. So you mean to tell me that you went on the show and you just miraculously discovered like, oh wait, I have trauma that I need to work through before I get married, because I'm so scared of cheating, and I'm so scared, I think cheating is some sort of genetic mutation that just passes through. It don't work like that, sir. The only way you're gonna cheat is if you cheat. I will say thank you for being so candid and honest, so that we can show people that a lot of the times these men will tell you exactly who they are. Not all the times, but sometimes they will give you the exact blueprint of how the relationship is gonna go. And he's basically saying, hey, yeah, 80, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna cheat on you because I saw my daddy do it. So like, you know, I have no brain for my own. I'm just gonna look at my dad and think that everything he's doing is right. So I'm probably gonna end up following in his shoes because I put him on such a pedestal. So just letting you know, that's what he was basically saying. this whole time, every episode, every time he talks. And can we talk about the fact that like the way he talks, he just says a whole lot of nothing. He's talking, his mouth is definitely moving, but it's just nothing. He's like, and so I don't know, and like, and I saw my dad cheat on my mom and stuff, and like I saw him, and he brought me to his trips and stuff, and then I'm like, damn, AD, and then I'm just thinking about things, and then I don't know what to do, and it's just nothing, talking about nothing, but still sound is moving. Stop. He was the main person that was giving me the crease in between my eyebrows, because this man just like, I really can't. And it's like, it's so unfair, because a lot of us women are used by men as therapists. We're used as healing. We're used as stepstones for their betterment. And it's like, that's not fair to us. And AD, I will, she's my girl, but I have to call her out. She was the one that said, well, when I see red flags, I just paint my nails to match. Like, yes, okay, hee hee ha ha, but it's like, stop doing that. Like, I'm not gonna say you're doing it to yourself, but so much unnecessary hurt. And then it's like, you come in contact with these losers, people like Clay, which they're running rampant around here, y'all. Stay woke. Like, just be careful. There's so many Clays around here. There's so many Jeremeys around here. And it's like, I just wish that we would have enough strength to stand on our own. And it gets tough sometimes. Being single, yes, it can get lonely sometimes. Yes, you want to be hugged and cuddled, and you want to do all the things and the trips and stuff. And it's like, is being with a crap person, no shade Clay, but is being with a person who's selfish and arrogant like that, you'd rather that than be alone and have peace and sanity, instead of dealing with this man who's going to talk in circles, and we clearly see who he gets it from his father, who speaks in haikus and Snapple facts and whatever else they were saying on TikTok. Like, just, I wish more of us would stop being scared to take the plunge and just deal with being single. It's better than being with somebody who's not for you. And especially if you see what's happening, like, it's one thing if you're like naive and you don't see what's happening in front of you, but like, if you are acknowledging like, yeah, I'm having to do a lot of emotional labor for this person, I wish we would just like stop, I know we want to see how it goes. I know we want to grow and we want the best for people, but it's like, sometimes they don't want the best from themselves. And like, something tells me that he would talk about how much he needs to go to therapy, but not actually do it. I don't know. I hope he's doing well. I actually hope all of these people are looking at themselves and seeing the self-reflection they need to do, because this cast was a lot. This cast had a lot of personalities. Yeah, Clay has a lot of work to do, and it's not anyone's responsibility to do it for him, It would be one thing if he was actively doing the work and she was just, there to support him, but she's having to do everything for him. That's not fair. You don't get to step on women and, break their hearts and your path of success. Like, that's terrible. And you're hyper fixating so much on what you don't want to be that you're becoming that. And like, I knew Clay was unserious on that freaking wedding day, because his friends, and they're still talking about how much girls they used to get, and oh, I know, yeah, we know you. Like, this man is such a joke. Like, wasting all of our times, dragging us all along just to say no at the altar. Like, what the hell? That was actually, I was not expecting that whatsoever. I thought it was going to be AD to be like, actually, no, I can't do this. It was him. Like, that sinister smile before he said no. Just a mess. Wasting all of our times. This whole season could have been an email. I want to talk about Clay's parents for a second, because I actually thought that their scenes were very insightful. So like I was talking about before, his father is clearly, Clay doesn't fall far from the tree, clearly. Like, he's here for his son's wedding day, and all he can talk about is how, and when I was in college and I did this and you beat me, it wasn't because I was bad, it wasn't because I was getting old, it was, you just beat me. Like, just, why are we talking about you and your achievements, sir? Like, is that the best you can do? And even Clay was like, oh, I'm surprised you even showed up. Like, I guess we are too. He probably could have stayed home, because all he was doing was just reciting, he was like, motivational quotes on Google. He said the first things that he could find, just talking a whole lot of nonsense. You can clearly tell he's an absent father. Duh, because who takes their son to a fidelity trip? You can tell he's a joke, and even at his big prehistoric age that he's at right now, you can still tell that he's a clown and he's childish and he's immature. And I'm happy that Miss Rita gathered his bald-headed behind. because you can tell that this man put her through hell. Okay, and she's having to find out by her son on international television that he was cheating on her the whole time. That's crazy. You can tell that he's tried to, pull the wool over her eyes, and maybe she fell for it in the past, but now she's like, no, like, the reason why your son is acting like this is because of you. And then this dad is like, well, my dad is like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people will just point the finger. It doesn't matter how your parent raised you. It doesn't matter how, their parent raised them. What matters is, what are we going to do now? Okay, because it's easy to sit here and point the finger and say, well, I'm acting like this because, my mom did this, or I'm acting like that because I didn't have my dad. That's not an excuse. We're grown. We're grown-ups. Like, yes, it sucks. The trauma sucks, and it does last. But if somebody doesn't come in and say, all right, at what point does enough become enough? When do we stop the generational curses? We're just going to continue the cycle. Okay, so it's like, the quicker we take accountability for our own actions and stop pointing the finger, the quicker we can actually become better people. And that's exactly what we're seeing with this family right here. I truly hope that everybody finds the healing that they need, because it's just crazy. And maybe I'm deep in it too much, like it's just a reality show, but like, I don't know, there was a lot of truth to this season, like especially that scene with the parents. Like, a lot of us can learn from this. A lot of us really can. And shout out to 80's mom and her family, like the way she gave them that signal, like, you ready? And everybody just got up and walked behind her. She looked like such a queen. She looked so powerful walking out of there, you know what? And I hope she doesn't feel embarrassed or humiliated or anything. The only person that should be embarrassed with themselves is Clay. Okay, and all of these men on this season, they should all be ashamed of themselves. Trevor should be ashamed of himself. I don't care if he was only there for a little bit, he should be ashamed. Jeremey, all of these people, Jimmy, everybody should be ashamed of themselves. And to all the queens, I feel like all the queens are gonna boss up and they're gonna find even better partners, and we're gonna find out during the reunion who's dating and who's not and stuff. I think we're gonna find out during the reunion who's dating. Does anybody still talk? I suspect that none of them are in a relationship. I hope not. I hope everybody just walked away and just started from scratch. Like, they don't need to be together, none of these people. So we're gonna see at the reunion. I hope everybody shows up. Sarah Ann better show up, Jess better show up. Like, I want everybody there. Trevor, and they need to ask the real questions. Like, so, Trevor, why did you apply to a reality show when you had a girlfriend? Jeremey, why did you come to a reality show when you had a fiance? Ask the real questions, Vanessa and Nick Lachey. And yeah, that is pretty much my conclusion on season 6. Definitely gave me a lot of wrinkles, but I really did enjoy it. Like, I think the entertainment value was there, and I'm excited. I think next season is supposed to be in Minneapolis or something. I don't know if I heard that correctly, but I'm excited. I'm gonna continue doing these little recaps because I think I found my new show. Like, I just can't. It's so interesting to watch. I was thinking, do you guys think that I should live stream the reunion? Like, I was thinking of going on live here and then maybe like just having the camera face me, but I'm just watching the reunion and I'm reacting to it. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be that interesting enough, but all right, y'all, that's gonna do it for me. I will see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure you rate us 5 stars on all of your audio streaming platforms. All right, I will see you guys next week. Bye.